Hi, I'm Dino Cazares from the group Divine Heresy and Assassino. I am also the original guitar player of Fear Factory. I've been playing guitar roughly for about 20 or so years. I started when I was 15 years old, and I practice every day to try to be fast. I mean, one of my main thing is speed and technicality. If you want to see any of my stuff, you can go to myspace.com/Dino Cazares, myspace.com/Divine Heresy. I have a lot of YouTube videos on there and stuff. You can see a lot of my techniques on there. This is our latest CD from Divine Heresy. It's called Bleed the Fifth. It came out August 28th, 2007. We're in the process of doing a new CD, which will be out sometime next year, probably March, April. We did extensive touring for this album. We toured pretty much 10 months non-stop. We're doing pre-production for the new stuff right now, and we're going to be we're going into the studio early January with Logan Mader, who produced Five Finger Death Punch and Cavalier Conspiracy and a few other things. I also have another group called Assassino, and it means assassin, and it's all in Spanish. We tour a lot through South America, Mexico, all through Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Colombia, places like that. This record came out in 2006. I am also in the process of writing the new material and doing pre-production for a new album for this as well. Doing as much touring as I do, it's really hard to say what your favorite place is, you know what I mean? Because it could be the worst club, but it could be the best show. So sometimes it's really hard to choose what's the best. But most of the House of Blueses have great sound, great lights, decent food, and but I think one of the biggest shows I've ever played was definitely in Holland. It was a festival called the Dynamo Festival, and there was like over 100,000 people there. And I just remember looking out to the crowd, and it's like I couldn't see the grass, I couldn't see dirt. All I saw was just bodies and bodies and bodies, all the way. It seemed like for miles away, but that was one of my favorite and one of the biggest festivals, and probably one of my accomplishments that I've achieved being in the band, just playing in front of that many people. Typical day for us in the band is probably waking up around 12, 1 o'clock, sometimes 3 o'clock, depends on how hungover you are the night before. Definitely the first thing you look for is water and the toilet. Those are the first things you do when you wake up. Once you do that, you get something to eat, start waking up, check your emails, maybe go do a little shopping, we'll start warming up, do sound checks, and then obviously, just before the show, definitely warm up for another half hour or so. I'll have warm-up techniques that you can see on my MySpace page. Sometimes I wear, they're called wrist weights, and you can get them like at Target. And I put them on my hands, and I start playing like that, just to, get the wrists all warmed up and stuff like that. And a long time ago, when I was a kid, I used to put electrical tape on the joints of my fingers, so it'll be a little hard to press down on the neck, on the frets, and that would also help build up all my muscles in my hand and in my wrist. And then I, take everything off, and you just fly. Me playing guitar for so many years, I've experimented with a lot of different types of strings, and the Diodarios are definitely the best, and they're the brightest, and they last the longest. And I definitely use the 10 to 46. I think it's the XL 110. I think it's called. And I also, I haven't played 6 strings since 95. And so I've been using 7 strings and 8 strings, pretty much. For quite some time now. And so the 7th string is actually, so it's 10 to 46, then the 7th string is a 52, then the 8th string is a 64. So it gets pretty low. I like my strings a little bit lighter, just because I seem to be able to have more control, and I can give it more attack with my finger. Usually when I start using strings that are too big, it gets a little muddy, so I like it a little bit thinner, a little bit more, and it's a little bit more brightness, and that's what I like about mine. My advice to people who want to get into the industry or get into this whole thing we call the music business, whatever's left of it. You know, it really takes a certain person to really go out there and really do it. It's really, you know, if it's the music's in your heart, and that's what you will want to do, then you know, you have to follow that, and you know, because definitely if it's in your heart, it's going to be able to overcome. You know, because when you're in a band, there's so many different things that a lot of people don't take, you know, in factor. For instance, a lot of people think that because you're in a band, you get signed automatically, you become rich, and you live in a rock star lifestyle, and, you know, with girls and money, cars, things like that. It doesn't exactly work out that way for 90% of us. Some people get lucky, they have that, but other people have to really, really work hard at it. And, you know, sometimes it could get very frustrating, and sometimes you want to give up. But because the music is in your heart, that's the reason why you keep going at it. That's the reason why, you know, I am here today and still doing it after so many years.